Manifest Destiny touched on religion, money, power, trade, desire for land, and many other motives. It was America's belief that they had a God-given right to overtake much of the North American continent. The purpose was to take over land and expand, as well as finding new economy. Some economic incentives were to challenge other nations' trade, such as European fur trade, desire for more land, and when gold was found in California, even more people moved out west to grow rich. Polk's support of Manifest Destiny encouraged the people of America to expand and search for land and riches. The events of his presidency show how the nation expanded in just 4 years. His success inspired movement and development, as well as shaped how different regions acted and responded to the nation's actions. There were several major events of James Polk's presidency. In 1845, the Manifest Destiny began. In December 1845, Texas became a slave state, and in 1846 to 1848, the war with Mexico happened. In June 1846, the Oregon Treaty granted the U.S. President Day, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and Montana. In July 1846, a tariff was issued that lowered rates toward revenue-only levels. In August 1846, the Polk vetoed the Harbors and Rivers Bill because he said it favored particular areas, similar to Jackson with the Maysville Road Bill. In December 1846, Iowa became a state that was free. In 1848, gold was discovered in California that set the debate of California being slave or free when it became a state. In February 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo and the end of Mexican War happened. It granted the U.S. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, and Wyoming, and it incorporated Texas. In May 1848, Wisconsin became a state. The impacts of Polk's presidency was that he accomplished nearly everything he said he would on the presidential election platform. He acquired Oregon, California, and New Mexico, he settled the Texas border, and he lowered the tariffs. He left the nation at the end of his term facing its greatest political and social crisis since the American Revolution.
Polk was called the Dark Horse as the Democratic nominee in 1844. He was called the Dark Horse because he was like a horse in a race that won, but no one expected him to. He was determined to prove himself and become one of the most productive presidents ever. When Polk won nomination, the opposition Whigs and their leader Henry Clay asked who is Polk.
In the 1844 presidential election, Polk supported the desire of many Americans to take over all of Oregon. 54, 40 or fight was the Democratic slogan. 54 was the latitude which they believed should be the northern Oregon border. Polk focused on settling the border because he strongly supported Manifest Destiny. Britain rejected the 54-40 border, but agreed to a 49 degrees latitude border in 1846. In the 1844 election, Democrats nominated Polk and called for Texas annexation as soon as possible. In December 1845, Texas was admitted. The Mexican government was angered by U.S. taking Texas and further angered by Texas/Mexico border dispute. They were also angered by Polk trying to buy California and New Mexico from the Mexican government, but he failed. Even before war with Mexico officially began, American settlers in Northern California had begun an uprising. President Polk sent General Winfield Scott and his troops to attack Mexico City. They landed in the port of Veracruz and captured it after 3 weeks of fighting. They still needed to travel 300 miles to Mexico City, and they fought Mexican troops along the way. In September 1847, 6 months after Scott's forces landed in Veracruz, they captured Mexico's capital. Polk's plan for the war had succeeded. Defeated on February 2, 1848, Mexico's leaders signed the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Mexico gave the U.S. more than 500,000 square miles of territory, which is now today California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. America gained California through the Mexican War.